Today, we're going to be diving into the idea of exploring new creative outlets. If you've been feeling like your creative well is running dry, or you've been doing the same thing for a while and want to try something new, this episode is for you. We'll talk about how to step out of your comfort zone and discover new ways to express yourself. Do you feel like you've lost yourself in the role of being a mom? Are you struggling to find fulfillment outside of the daily grind? Do you find yourself questioning who you are anymore? Does your current life seem filled with other people's interests but nothing solely yours? Welcome to More Than Just Mama, where we help you take back your identity and find fulfillment beyond the roles of motherhood. I'm Christine, and each week we'll explore topics like self-discovery, personal growth, creativity, and balance to help you reconnect with who you truly are. On More Than Just Mama podcast, we address the common feelings of lost identity and explore ways and means of rediscovering what gives you joy. You'll gain insights into what your passions are and discover actionable steps to help you reconnect with who you are beyond motherhood. If you are ready to feel more fulfilled and reclaim your sense of self, stay tuned as these episodes guide you on that journey. Why is it important to try new things? Well, one of the best ways to keep your creative spark alive is by trying new things. It's easy to get comfortable with what you know, but there's so much value in stepping out of our creative comfort zone. When we challenge ourselves with something new, we grow. And that sense of growth can reignite your passion and lead you to new discoveries. It's also important to recognize that creativity is fluid, and what inspires you in the past might not resonate with you now, and that's okay. By exploring new outlets, you're kind of refreshing that creative juice. You're bringing in new ideas, new ways of looking at some things that you used to do, some things in the past. And this is a way to evolve and keep things fresh because you're adding new concepts to the current ideas that you have. Now, before we dive in deeper, I want to let you know that Chrissy Cris Creations has a special holiday sale going on right now. If you're looking for a thoughtful and meaningful gift this season, well, head on over to chrissycriscreations.com and explore what we have on there. Okay, now, how do we find our creative outlet? How do we find a new creative outlet? So, start by asking yourself, what interests you? Is there something you've always wanted to try, but have never had the time? Maybe it's painting, photography, writing, even cooking. Don't be afraid to try something completely out of your comfort zone. And actually, even think about like when you're out and about, if something pulls your attention, start thinking about, well, is this something that I would like to try my hand at? Like today, we went to Big Lots and I saw this cool mini binder, and there was a choice of two, and it was really hard to decide which one I would prefer. And I started looking at it and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should make it. I should create one for myself. So what did I do? Well, right now I have paused a video on YouTube on how to make a DIY mini binder. Well, a DIY binder, but you get the gist. Like if something interests you, if you see something, if it's something you've done in the past or something that you're looking at right now, something that's creating that curiosity, building that up, go ahead and try it. Do it. So for me, trying new creative outlets was not always easy. When I first got back into jewelry making, I was exploring other crafts like knitting, card making, sewing, even cake decorating. Now, some of them stuck as a side, like just a something to do on the side, but some others didn't. But each one taught me something about my creative process. I learned that I like to put things together to make something useful or something uplifting, something unique. And that's what I've learned with everything that I do. Yeah, I might like something, and if I start thinking about, like, ooh, maybe I want to try my hand at learning how to do it. Okay, I learned the basics, and then guess what? I spin it. I add some extras to it. So don't be afraid to try something that's completely out of your comfort zone. The cool thing is, we have so many resources that we can use to educate ourselves on. And just because you're starting something new doesn't mean you're going to be an expert. When you start something new, there's always a learning curve. And it's easy to get frustrated when we're not immediately good at something, because we have that in ourselves. Well, I have that in myself to be a perfectionist. But I need to remind myself and remind you, ladies, mamas, that creativity is about the process, not the outcome. We need to let ourselves become a beginner again and enjoy that discovery. Exploring a new creative outlet can be exciting, but also overwhelming. That's why I say start small. Learn as much as you can. In fact, you can divide up one thing like you want to learn. For example, I want to learn how to make a mini binder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first watch some videos on how to make the whole thing. And then I'm going to divide it up into smaller steps. Like, okay, if I want to create it from scratch, but I can't right now because it's something new and I don't want to feel overwhelmed and then be discouraged in making it. So I'm going to start up, okay, I'm going to use a clear binder that already has the middle part attached to it. And then I can add like the cover, like start on the cover. Then next I will go to, okay, how can I make my own full cover and get the middle piece and attach it to whatever cover I want. And then move on from that. So I want to encourage you not to feel overwhelmed by something you're interested in doing. Break it up into smaller pieces. You can even start by learning only one aspect of it and then going deeper with the next step before it. So work your way backwards, and you'll keep that excitement alive. You'll keep your creative juices flowing because you're having fun and you're learning something new. Now, there's one thing I want to caution you about, or just talk about. So sometimes when we're sharing, like, for example, I might be sharing with some friends that I'm trying to learn how to do such and such. But that doesn't mean that I'm neglecting what I love to do. So I want to encourage you that, yes, exploring new creative outlets is fun, but that doesn't mean that you have to abandon what you already love. In fact, you can be adding to what you already love. You're adding variety and balance. And you can incorporate these new activities into your existing creative routines. Sometimes trying something new can even help you see your current work, your current projects in a fresh new light. In my case, I was able to incorporate sewing and wax melt. So I'm incorporating those two because I wanted to learn how to make candles. So I went, okay, instead of candles first, let's do wax melts. And sewing, I've loved to sew. So what? I'm going to incorporate them into Chrissy Creations. And that's what I just did because I knew I had to pivot. I wanted to add more into what I was doing. And I tried each aspect of them apart from Chrissy Creations. And then I added them into my creative list of Chrissy Creations because I knew I could use them again and I knew how I wanted to do it. Now, this was after trying them on their own, but just trying new things sometimes can just bring about where things are lining up, clicking, and you could be like, okay, I might not use, for example, with a binder, back again, I might not use that mini binder in Chrissy Cris Creations, but hey, I could probably use it with Revealed Confidence. Or I could use it on my side or as Christmas gifts. Well, it might be too late because I only have, what, a month and a half to do it. But hey, you never know. When you're learning something new, just go with it. Go with the flow because you never know where it will take you. So, are you ready to start exploring your world around you? Start exploring things that you do, places that you go to kind of awaken your creative juices? Well, here are a few action steps that I want you to take, or I will encourage you to take, to start getting ready to explore any new creative outlet that you face. Okay, 1, identify a new outlet that you've been creative about. So this is like if you have a list of things that you've wanted to do mentally, or physical list, a mental or physical list of things that you want to do. But go ahead and write 1 or 2 down. Separate the most interesting ones that you want to do, you've always wanted to do. In fact, make a list. If you don't have a list, make a list. Now, a few weeks ago, I successfully made sourdough starter, and I've currently baked with it twice. The first time, my bread was dense, but I was so excited because I was like, I made a starter. I baked with it. It's a long process, but I baked with it. The bread was edible. It was just a lot dense. But a few days ago, I just baked with the starter again. And it was a lot better. It was still a little bit dense, but oh my gosh, it was a lot better. I could see those nice fluffy holes on the inside. Anyway, I'm happy I did it. And I will keep at it until I make a decent loaf. And my next thing with a starter is to learn how to use my sourdough bread starter with other things. So, what's next on your list? I mean, mine, I have the DIY mini binder to make that. I'm also going to add sculptured earrings. Yeah, you guys are going to have to hold me accountable for those. But these are things that I am curious about. I want to learn how to make. When the mini binder, I went to the store today. I saw it and I was like, oh, I want to see if I can learn how to make it. So it doesn't have to be from a current list that you have. It could be something that either you're watching TV or you go to the store, like in my case, or you're out and about, or you see like a kid's toy, your kid's playing with a toy or playing with something, and you're like, I wonder if I could create something for this or make something better. It doesn't even have to be in something that you're making. It could be something that you're writing or even photography. You can even challenge yourself, like, let's see if I can take a picture of our house that seems like it's underwater. I don't know. Just explore anything and everything, but start identifying what you're curious about and what you want to do and to advance. Now, secondly, set time aside to explore. Dedicate a few, I want to say hours, but as busy moms, we may not have the luxury of hours to put aside each week. But I would say dedicate some time each week to experiment with your chosen outlet. Even if it's a few minutes each week or however long you can manage, as long as you do it. Number 3, embrace being a beginner. Do not be afraid to say, I do not know how to do this. I want to learn. Give yourself permission to learn. And most important of all, to make mistakes. Now, remember, it's a process. It's all about the process, not the results. Once you learn the process, you have a lot of time to create a good result. And there are so many resources out there, as I said before, that you can use to just learn just about anything. Take advantage of them. And don't use the excuse of wanting to learn more hinder you to start, as it did mine. Number 4, mix it up. So balance your new creative outlet with your old one to see how they can complement each other. Because you never know, one may inspire the other, or it may even be an inspiration to something even better. All you'll be doing is broadening your horizon. So, so just to recap, find a new creative outlet. Use anything, keep your eyes open for any inspiration because you never know when something's going to jog that curiosity. Embrace the fact that you would be learning something new, especially if it's something that you haven't done in a long time or have never done. And be ready to balance the new with the old. You don't have to relegate your old creative stuff because you have something new. If you want, do both of them. If they're able to come together, mix together, complement each other, go ahead and do it. It can only get better. So, for reflection this week, I want you to reflect on this question. What new creative outlet would I like to try? Think about what's holding you back and what would happen if you gave it a shot. Sometimes trying something new can open doors you didn't even know existed. Well, mamas, thanks for joining me today. And I hope you feel inspired to take that step outside of your creative comfort zone and try something. And don't forget to check out ChrissyChrisCreations.com for unique handcrafted jewelry and more, which will be perfect for holiday gifting. See you next week, where we'll continue exploring ways to take back your identity and reignite your passions. Until then, mamas, stay curious, stay creative, and make time for yourself. Thanks for listening. Bye. Thank you for joining me on More Than Just Mama. I hope you found today's episode insightful and inspiring. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing, subscribing, rating, and leaving a review. It really helps us reach more listeners who might benefit from our conversations. Don't forget to connect with us on Facebook and our website, revealedconfidence.com, for more updates and resources. And remember, you are more than just a mom. You are a creative, passionate individual with dreams to pursue. Until next time, take care and keep taking steps towards rediscovering your true self.